fix my laptop. Just go right away. Okay. First, you have to lick that thing so loud. Is it so diablo? Okay. You guys move, Corey, move. Watch. Watch, baby. Coming out quite late. It's gonna take some time for people to come in. Corey, stop. Hi. Hello. Just waiting for other people to come in the room. I know I'm coming on a little late. Hi, Mr. What If. I know I'm coming on a little late, guys. I have some family stuff to tend to. I just came back, so it's getting back into the wing of things, child. So hello. Welcome to the May mid-month recap. I see 2 y'alls in here. Don't forget to like the video, child. Just gonna wait for more people to get into the room, and then we're gonna get started. Hi, I see you guys coming in. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, it's 11:45 right now. Just waiting for the room to fill up. Just give me a second, y'all. Okay, let's get this going. Hello. Okay. All right, so we're going to open up with opening prayer, okay? So I'm just going to let you know who we're reading on today for the mid-month recap. We're reading on Jack Avery and Gabbie Gonzalez and the hitman situation. Kim Kardashian with the SKIMS cocaine smuggling. We're going to touch on Khloe Kardashian. I don't know why I've been feeling her in my spirit lately. Well obviously I saw Kim and I was like, okay, let's touch on Khloe. I haven't read on Khloe in a while. We are doing a channeled message from Yemiya herself about spiritual disembargos. And as you can see just now, what just was reported, that there was gunshots at the White House and what's going on with that and what do you see around that. And then we're going to close out on reading on Mr. Six himself from my city, Drake and the Iceman album and what's going on with him and everything like that. All right. If you guys want to get a private reading, of course, or a question answered in the live, I don't do questions in the lives anymore. You guys can always hit me up. My information is in the description box. So we're just going to open up with that, okay? Okay, so a few announcements. As you know, usually I would do the mid-month recap should have been done last week, but I just came back from Europe. I was there for 2 weeks. So I'm just catching up on doing mid-month recap. So there's going to be one, obviously we're doing the mid-month recap today, and then we're going to be doing next week, Friday, we'll be doing the end of the month recap. Also, what's coming up this week as well, I am dropping a new vlog, and on top of that, I am going to do another viewer's choice video. So if you guys have any questions on any celebrity or you want me to read on or whatever the case may be sure to leave who you want me to read on in the description box, okay? So we're going to open up with prayer. Lord Jesus, we give our praise and the glory, God. Just like a thank you, Jesus. We want to thank you for the victories. We want to thank you for the beautiful things that happen in our lives in Jesus' glorious name. Lord Jesus, we pray that you saturate this room and saturate this life with the blood of Jesus from the crown of his head to the sole of feet, God. God, we call upon you right now in the name of Jesus to just be able to create a space where everyone can feel safe to tap into these energies and let the energies in the room always be good and positive in the name of Jesus. And I pray that all the messages that we come through today are clear and concise in the name of Jesus. And everyone that watches this video is able to take some information or learn something from it in the name of Jesus. We remove any spiritual disembargoes or any spiritual strongholds in the name of Jesus that may be in the room right now, that anybody that's experiencing those things in their life right now, or even the energies around in the name of Jesus. As we speak on these things right now in Jesus' glorious name, as I feel now, I don't know why I feel there's a couple people in this room right now that is dealing with things like that, feeling strongholds, feeling pauses in their life in the name of Jesus, feeling like their life is not moving forward in Jesus' glorious name. And I know, God, that you've put it on my heart to give a message to the people, God. And I pray, God, in Jesus' glorious name, that message is received, Lord, in the name of Jesus. As you are the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and your love reigns supreme, God. Break every demonic chain. Amen. All right. Okay, so first thing we're going to read on is Jack Avery. Probably going to get through these readings fast, child, because it's late. Okay, so Jack Avery is don't mind me because he's a little bit out of my demographic of like artists or creators or whatever the case may be that I know of. But what really intrigued me was the story, was like, what the fuck? So Jack Avery is a social media influencer, and I believe he's also a musician. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of those like people that started off on social media doing music or whatever the case may be, and ended up becoming an artist, and has done his created a way for himself. There, he was dating a girl named Gabbie Gonzalez. So he was with this girl. I'm not sure for how long, but they out of the relationship produced a child, which I believe their child's name is Lavender. There was a lot of controversy going on back and forth, a lot of fighting, gossip, and rumors. Supposedly Jack must have cheated, whatever the case may be. But moving into that, what ended up happening was it has been alleged that Gabbie was keeping the child away from Jack. And what ended up later happening was that Gabbie and her father later employed a hitman to actually carry out the act of killing Jack. One of the requests is that she wanted proof of this death, or that he was actually killed, was for the killer to bring a finger for proof. I'm not sure the actual details of what happened. I didn't read that part of how it was ever found out, or if it was like a sting or whatever the case may be. But Gabbie and her father were both individually charged with conspiring to murder Jack Avery. Now, what's crazy is that Gabbie Gonzalez had a bond. Her bond was over $2 million, and just recently, if not, I would say today, this evening, she was able to post that 2 million bond, and now she is free. So I just want to tap into this energy and see exactly what's going on and what is to come for this situation. Because from what I see from her her mugshot, she don't look like she feels sorry about what she did. So let's get into it. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the energy that I keep getting from her side is that she was feeling threatened by Jack. I don't know why I get that there was like some threatening of like an exposure, or threatening of like I'm sure that he was threatened. I feel like he would have threatened definitely custody of the child. And I think because she knew that she wasn't really emotionally fit, that if he were to actually go for custody, that he probably would be granted it. And she feels like if he was ever granted custody, that he would probably do her like how she was doing him. So that's why she felt like with the threat, why she felt like she had to have like hold this kid hostage in some way. You know what I mean? I see 5 of y'all in a room. If you guys can you please like the video? It'd be greatly appreciated. So that's where she felt like she had it was upon herself to be able to like do something like that. I get a sense too when it comes to her father. I feel like in this situation, like I feel like Gabbie has a father that doesn't hold his daughter accountable. You see what I'm saying? I feel like in a lot of ways, like Gabbie's been fucking up and doing certain things. Like she's giving spoiled brat energy. You know what I mean? Like where it's like he doesn't see the fault of his daughter. It's like he's gonna always blame everybody else for his daughter's wrongdoings. Like that's kind of like the energy that I keep getting when it comes to Gabbie and Jack or whatever the case may be. So what I also do sense though is that I get the sense that the father might pull bail too. I don't know why, because I feel like he wants to get Gabbie out first because of the child. Because I'm almost getting that even like if the mother's around or the case may be, it's like there is not a caregiver that will take care of the child any better than the mother would or have the time to either. But I feel like Jack right now is literally like really ready to go to the full extent of this whole situation. Like I feel like he's really and rightfully so. Like I feel like he's like extremely hurt by this all. Like she knew, like I feel like he knew she hated him, but never to the point that he ever thought that she wanted him dead. Like that's the energy that I'm getting when it comes to him. Um, but I feel like there's gonna be another attempt. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like she's gonna find herself at the brouhaha next. Like that's kind of the energy that I feel like is happening because I feel like they've been like talking to people, but it's weird. Like she has no remorse. Like she feels like she's so justified in this situation. Like she feels like she has. I get the sense that she's gonna like make a statement. Like I don't. Maybe she can't speak on it because it's like it is a pending case. So usually when there's a pending case, you can't really speak on what's going on. But I get the sense that she feels like, yo, like she's justified in some way. Like she was kind of pushed against the wall. Like I don't know if she's gonna probably use postpartum as an excuse or like some kind of word of insanity. I forget there's an actual term for it, but like something with insanity or whatever the case, maybe you plead that. But I feel like that's her thing that she's gonna keep trying to push and press. Because I feel like Jack, like, don't get me wrong, he's an asshole. Like, I don't think he was really kind with her, especially dealing with any of the situation. I don't think he made her life that much easier. But at the end of the day, I don't think it was ever that deep that she should have heard. Like, she played up a lot of things in her mind. But I feel like the feelings of threat or whatever the case would be that she felt was played up more in her mind based on social media. So, like, obviously, whatever the fans were saying or whatever, like, she would lie the storylines from different people to kind of get in her head and like create a whole story out of her own anxiety or her own fear of what she feels like could happen rather than what was actually happening. So I feel like that's why she's gonna probably try to go on use the whole mental thing as a thing to be like, okay, like this is what was really happening or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I just feel like I see like Jack getting with somebody else, but I think that it's gonna take him a minute. I feel like he's gonna take a little bit of a break from just doing what he's doing in general. You know what I mean? Like that's like the energy I get. Like I feel like he's pulling all the way back. Like I feel like he's not just pulling it back just because of hurt, but he's even pulling back for he fears for his safety. Maybe because she's out now. I don't know, but like he fears for his safety now. Like he feels like he can't even trust anybody. Like I feel like he's even like looking at people in his camp like side eye. Like yo, because it's like it's one thing like when you've known somebody for a very long time, like even though you go through your back and forth with them, when you've known them for such a very long time, and then something like this comes out, like they could ever think to harm you on this level, it makes you feel like you cannot trust anybody because it's like he thought that he had her in the bag, like he knew the kind of person she was. You know what I mean? He thought like he was so certain that regardless of what problems they had, he never had to look at her as an enemy. And here we are. Like she's literally was plotting to kill you. You know what I mean? Um, and I feel like it's changed his whole perspective on like how he looks at people around him because I feel like he's sifting around people. I see new people in the room. If you guys please sure to like the video. Thank you very much. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of that happening there. Um, But I don't know. It's gonna really get to the point of like him really changing around how he's going about his life and how he's doing everything now, because it's really messed up. There's gonna be more stuff that's gonna come out. They're gonna find certain evidence too, like little things. Like I don't know why I feel like her first route was witchcraft and that didn't work out, and then she tried to go for actually hiring somebody. But now she's going to another bruja because I keep on seeing like a bruja. Like I feel like she has like a bruja that they go to or somebody that they know, like almost like an auntie knows, like that's like in like friggin' Mexico or wherever, like back home type situation that she's going to. You know what I mean? But she gonna have a friend that's gonna like give in info. I don't know why I feel like there's a friend that's they're gonna testify against her. You know what I mean? But what I see later on that's gonna end up happening, I feel like they're definitely gonna throw the book at her. I don't feel like she's gonna get away from doing no time. She's definitely gonna do time. I think her dad's gonna do much more serious time than her. But I think he would rather it that way because it's almost like he's like, I'd rather die in jail for her. Like he's like one of those fathers. Like he's a dad, you know what I mean? Like he would take a bullet for his daughter gladly. Like, you know what I mean? But I feel like there's gonna be I think it's gonna start off where there's gonna be the custody situation. Probably somebody in her family is gonna be able to have custody of the child, but I feel like later on, like that child's gonna end up going to Jack's family. You know what I mean? Because I feel like he does love that baby. You know, he's still young. I still feel like he's pursuing what he's trying to pursue, but yeah, it feels to me like he's gonna. Sorry, like he's gonna. His family's gonna end up getting the baby. But yeah, any questions, guys? Thank you. Welcome to the room. Anyone in the room, please sure to like the video. Any questions? No? Okay, so we're moving right along. All right. Okay, I see more people are coming into the room, but I don't see nobody liking the video. Please like the video, child. It's free. It's a kind gesture. Helps people like my YouTubers like myself be seen. Small YouTubers. Oh, Marquis, what's up? I was almost wondering. I was like, where is this guy? Where they at? What's going on? Hi, Nas. Hi, you make it worth it. Thank you, liking my video. How you guys doing? What are you guys doing? How's your guys' night been? What's been happening since I last been on live? Before we move into the next reading. Having a drink with friends, honey. I know that's right, Nas. I know that's right. I brought myself some rum from Spain. And yo, liquor there is so cheap. I got a bottle of friggin' rum for like €5. I was like, what? Give me four. Well, I didn't obviously I didn't take four for myself. I brought for like my mom, my dad, my son's father. You know what I mean? Like my brother, I bought a bottle. You know, my sister's a drink, so I just got her like a skirt or something. I got her a skirt. But I brought a bottle for myself a chow. I made myself a little drink chow. But it's weird because usually when I'm home, like when I vacation, of course I have drinks. You know what I mean? The odd time if I go out, of course I'll have a drink. But mainly when I'm at home, I don't drink really anymore because like I do Reiki, right? So when you do Reiki, you can't really drink. So, but I was like today, like you know what, child, I haven't said let me treat myself, child. Doing some housework. I'm glad I caught your live. Yes, I'm glad you caught it too. Yes. Oh, okay. That was a lot of people here. All right. You're having bread from Jamaica? I know that's right. What, Appleton? There's only two signature runs from Jamaica. Appleton or Rare Nephew. I don't like Rare Nephew at all. I do not like Ray and his nephew at all. I don't like the taste. If I'm sick and stuff, or if I have it in our traditional like Christmas drink, sorrow, I don't. You're having Ray? Oh my god, Nas! Oh, you're strong. Oh no, Nas is that is like rubbing alcohol, dead eyes, bro. I remember like Ray and nephew. I one time I went out and I had to drink it because I asked for rum and coke, but I didn't specify. And like it was last call. So I was like, okay, like let me just get. Yeah, you can't drink when you're doing Reiki because like I'm like clearing energies and entities and all types of stuff, right? So you want to keep your vibration as high as possible when working on somebody else and working on yourself, because of course you want to be careful that you're not exchanging or taking any energies on. Yeah, so during Reiki, like you can't drink. I don't drink at all. So and I do Reiki for clients almost every day. So well, pretty much every day I do. So I most of the time I'm not really drinking, but even before that I was kind of get like But I'm from like because we have to tell I'm from Toronto. I'm also a Caribbean woman, so like having a drink or one or two drinks is not weird for us to have like after work or after a long day. But like typically I haven't been drinking at all. But when I do vacation, God, I noticed like whenever I put up a vlog or video, I'm always drinking in it. And I'm like, yo, people must think I'm really like an alky, but I'm like, I'm not. Like, I don't drink mainly often, but I did drink today. I had some Dominican rum. You gotta watch yourself with the Dominican rum though, because Dominican rum goes down so smooth and like it doesn't taste like that strong alcohol taste. So before you know it, you're twisted. You're like, oh yo, like, oh wait a minute. All right, so let's move on to the next reading. We are going to move on to Kim Kardashian and the skim cocaine smuggling situation. Child, now I had to tap into this situation because I'm like, who? I'm like, look at Kim Griselda, Kim Blanco, okay, freaking pushing weight through her skim stuff. But I kind of knew like Kim don't have too much money to be pushing no cocaine. But let's tap into it and see what's going on around it. Because also there's been something that's been an epidemic that's been happening here. I don't know if it's an epidemic, but that we have to tap into people that have been traveling, whatever, right? Okay, so what has happened in the last couple of weeks? There was a Kim Skims shipment or a few shipments that were sent out and distributed through different areas and companies where they were using those outfits or those mechanisms or the shipments to also smuggle cocaine. So it was recent. So recently there was obviously a bust. I think it was about $6 million worth of cocaine that was found. Um, and of course, everybody was kind of like they were up in a frenzy, and there was like obviously, people were obviously making little comments or whatever, wondering if like saying that Kim was either pushing drugs or whatever the case may be. Um, Obviously, Skims had made a statement. The statement was that they had no idea that the cocaine was even in any of the stuff or don't know exactly what was going on. But moving forward with that, I guess they're trying to crash down or cut down on what's going on with that situation, um, and find out what the whole culprit of that behind it is. So I just want to tap into the energies and see exactly what's going on because we also had another, as I was coming back, because I just used to keep a trip, coming back from Europe. There is a deal that's been going on right now, especially through the Toronto airports, where baggage handlers have been changing the tags on people's bags and switching it with bags with drugs in it and making them go through. So when now, if it happens, if it gets like picked up by, the dog scent or obviously narcotics or whatever the case may be, innocent people have been going to jail and spending time in jail because people have been switching out tags, trying to smuggle in cocaine by using other people's names or whatever the case may be. So let's tap into that. Okay. So I don't know why I keep, you know what's so funny? I keep seeing Mexico. I actually keep seeing Mexico. And what I keep seeing is that I feel like this is something that's going on with the cartels. You know what I mean? I really feel like the reason why Spirit added asked me or why I added it into the reading because I feel like there's three streams of like entities or leaders or whatever the case may be that started out this new ring. You know what I mean? um I get the sense that obviously why people are doing it just because it's like it's really hard to get things to actually come through on water, considering what's been going on with like Trump and whatever the case may be, that has been causing a lot of delays on shipments. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's why they've been trying to come out with more different creative ways to actually get drugs into the country or to the distributors as fast as they can. So they've kind of been piggybacking in different outlets. I get the sense that I don't know why I feel like there's going to be something that may come up at one of their warehouses. I don't know. I feel like it's like they haven't really figured it out yet, but I don't know why I see something that coming up with the warehouses as well. Um, it's funny because I get the sense like Kim has dealt with some controversy since she's come out with Skims, especially when she came out with the first name. When she came out with the name initially, it was like kimono, and they felt like that was her gentrifying or what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Cultural appropriation with Japanese culture, whatever the case may be. So there were some issues with that. But I also get the sense that she might, I don't know why I keep on getting something with material. You know what I mean? So I don't know why I feel like there's going to be some controversy that's coming up soon as well. Um, when it's regarding that, regarding what's going on with her clothing. You know what I mean? I get the sense when it comes to Kim is like Kim has a really great thing going on. And I feel like there is certain not just media outlets, but I feel like there's higher ups that are actually trying to find little ways to sabotage her business. You know what I mean? I don't think that I like the new color scheme. Thank you. Yes, I love the new color scheme. Oh my gosh. I need to get some skim stuff. I haven't gotten any skim stuff yet, but yeah, but I feel like I'm not gonna lie, I keep on getting the essence of Kanye. So I don't know why I feel like it's not funny though. But I feel like there's some means of sabotage happening there. Because I don't know why I keep getting the energy that like when she seen this happen, she was like, okay, that's fucked. But like she's like, yo, so she could feel the means of like sabotage coming in. Like somebody's trying to actually fuck with her business. You know what I mean? Um, I think she's gotten word about it too. Cause that's the energy I'm getting. Like she's gotten word about it. Like somebody has. Yeah, because I see two men that are standing off on the side. You know what I mean? And I kind of get the sense that these two men are always men that actually do this to like major people that are starting out brands or whatever the case may be. It's almost like they will always try to rock the boat to see if you could keep it float. You know what I mean? She was not involved in it. No, not at all. This feels like cartel, bro. Like this feels like honestly, like this is actually like a system, but I feel like the system is even bigger than Kim herself. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like it has anything to do with Kim at all. I feel like it's bigger. It's even bigger than her. You know what I mean? I think she's kind of getting wind of what's going on because I feel like she hears certain rumblings, but I feel like now it's like she started to get like wind, like there's some serious shit that's going on. I'm not gonna lie. I think that she's probably gonna even change the route of what, like maybe like the distribution company of what she uses or where she warehouses her shit just to avoid it. Because I don't know why I get her like kind of nervous. Like, okay, like for example, if it was cartel, like she's like, yo, I don't want no problems with these people because she knows like at the end of the day, once it gets to that point, and if they start to shake her down, she can't she ain't got the grips like that to fucking be like, fuck you guys. Like she knows her money, not a money in the world can buy her that. Buy her way out of a situation like that. So I feel like she's trying to like navigate how she's moving things around and how things are getting distributed. I don't I don't think so all the way. I don't feel like the cartel says, yeah, is the cartel connected to the entertainment industry or celebs? Not, hold on. I don't feel like all the way. No. But I feel like they kind of feel like they're more politicians, different things like that. You know what I mean? But I feel like when it comes to them, like when you start to intersect on their shit, they're going to make sure that you're complying. Like they want to make sure that they have control. You know what I mean? And they know they want to make sure that you are acting right. And I feel like she's nervous about that. Like she don't want, she's like, I don't want these niggas, like I don't want us ever crossing any wires in any fucking way. She's like, I'm moving this shit somewhere else. Like, cause I feel her a little bit nervous about that. Yeah, she got like, I feel like she's like getting a little bit of flashback of what happened to her in the past. She's like, hell no, bro. But I get the sense that there's, wait, was that dog bark confirmation? Likely. Very likely. My dog's a spiritual teacher. But yeah, that's not funny. But I think it's definitely confirmation for that. Because I guess she's shooked. Like it shook her up. Not just like about, because she knows like, come on, like she has no connection to that at all. You know what I mean? Like just because it's Kim's name and Kim Cole's owns the company, you're not gonna see Kim sitting down in the warehouse every day. Like she doesn't see any of these things. You know what I mean? But like she's getting rumblings of where it's coming from, and she's like, okay, fuck. Cause I see her just kind of like, okay, now I need to tighten up on my security and tighten up on my shit. And like I see her like trying to pivot. Like she's like, yeah, I gotta pivot to the right. Also, basically, it's like they cross paths unintentionally. Exactly. Exactly. And now that she's seen that, I see her like, okay, no, fuck. You know, like I need to go this way. Because she don't want to cross paths on any of them niggas. Like I feel like Kim right now is really try to keep it cute in her life. Like she really is trying to lay low. You know what I mean? Like I think she's gone through. Kim has already built enough for herself and made as much connections as she feels like she needs to make. She's not in a space in her life right now where she's like, she's not hungry no more. You know what I mean? And especially when it comes to those people, she's not that hungry to be associated with them either. So she's kind of like, yeah, like I'm trying to keep it cute right now. So like I don't want to get up in the mix with nobody, like at all. But I keep on seeing these two men, but I feel like these two men are connected to Kanye. But I feel like these two men, like Kanye's fell out with them before, but like Kanye is a little bit back in their good graces. So he's doing a little bootlicking, and I feel like he might throw a little jabs here and there. I think he knows now that he can't really say things to her anymore. So he'll try to find different ways to kind of make her life difficult. I remember you read on oh, but yeah, that's what's happening for sure. But that was that whole thing was. Was there some guys that are higher up, some big bosses? They were finding different systems how to smuggle this shit because they can't smuggle it on water like they used to. So they're starting to get creative now on how they smuggle shit. Any questions? I remember you read on her and Bay years ago. You said they would pull back from the public eye and become more business than celebrities will say. Yes, yeah, because we have to understand too. It's not even just like what they're doing because they're not now. They're getting older too. You know what I mean? But the industry is changing. The industry is nowhere near or anything the same like it was when they were first famous. Like the whole like insulated like Hollywood reality is like changing because like everybody is now getting a chance depending on how big their platform is that are they have their own like fandom and their own following. You know what I mean? So it's not what it used to be at all. Yeah, Rihanna's doing that as well. Because like at this point, like it's actually even like amazing that at this their age that they're still relevant of some nature. You know what I mean? So they've been able to like keep some kind of relevance, like be relevant in some way. But like the industry itself and like the hierarchy and the that lust for stardom is not what it used to be. You know what I mean? It's different now. Like look at this young guy, Jack Avery. Before he would have to work hard. Like the industry time that she comes from is like throwing demo tapes out, working hard, pushing tapes, doing concerts, and trying to get a deal. I bet you anybody that Jack Avery guy is probably not even signed, and he's able to do records and full an arena because now you can make your own way. Yeah, too much. Yeah, so it's different now. You know what I mean? I feel like they're just on generational wealth type shit, like sitting back and just making that money build up that they're able to pass it down. Like that's what I feel like the energy that everyone is, that their legacy lives on. Yeah, it's not an exclusive club anymore. Exactly. I think the new thing is to build a brand and not be the face of it. Exactly. Like look what happened with Hailey Bieber. She came out with Rhodes. Rhodes obviously started to get some traction, and then she sold it for like $1 billion. Now she's kicked back. I think she's somewhat still the face, or probably has stakes in it in some way, but she's caking now. She's good. She built a brand. She was able to monetize on it in such a great way, and now she can kick back. And I feel like that's what a lot of people want to do or have been doing too. Too much accessibility, water down the industry down. Exactly. Because remember when artists, like when celebrities were such a mystery? Like we only knew limited things about them. You know what I mean? Or we seen them in limited ways. Whenever they wanted to show up is when we seen them. Yeah, of course they would end up in tabloids and have little things like that. But it's not like how it is now. Like it's completely different. So like it's like if the industry changes and you're making money from it, how you monetize from it and how you keep yourself relevant is gonna change too. Yeah. So any more questions before I move on? Yeah, she pulled back a lot too. Kylie, yes, she did. I remember she was like when Kylie's like lip stuff was on a hype, like she was in it. You know what I mean? But now it's like she's just on the shelves. Like it's like mass production. It's almost like CVS products, just pushing them out, just on the shelf. Things are changing, man. And the industry has not only changed since COVID. Like I've even seen a big shift within a year or two. It's just really changing a lot. But it's a positive thing for the most part. You know what I mean? Like it gives people more creative control and more control on how things are monetized for them. You know what I mean? Um, but at the same time, the exclusivity of being famous is changing. Like the eliteness of it, you know? The follow the rulesness of it is changing. Yeah, Kylie's a billionaire. Yeah. She's been a billionaire for a while. She's been a billionaire for a while now. I, at least over 5 years now. She's been a billionaire. Yeah, it's crazy because Nicki Minaj didn't adjust to the shift well. She did not. That's what I've been saying in my last videos. Like you're trying to compete with these new bitches rather than finding your own lane in who you are and what like your age and your demographic and staying relevant. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, look at these old school rappers that are like Jada Kiss, like fucking Jim Jones, all these guys that are coming out with podcasts now. You know what I mean? These are the old heads, you know, that like you rarely even see them doing interviews, you know? But of course, being in the music industry is how they profit. So they have to adjust to the times. So you have them out coming out with podcasts, doing different things, which is beautiful because at the same time, like it's nice to see and it's refreshing to see that organicness of like how music was created to still be relevant or be like seen on a grand scale. You know what I'm saying? But Nicki Minaj, her mental health, her envy, her jealousy for youth, you know what I mean, is what was her downfall at the end of the day. Because it's like at the end of the day, when you're doing your shit in the industry, like and you like you gotta know when you are becoming the old head. You know what I mean? And when you become the old head, it's like you're supposed to be like the counselor. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be the person that these women, younger cats should be able to come up to and get advice from, or you're supposed to lead the way. You know what I mean? But when you start to get to a space of competing, that's when you lose your spot, because you're not supposed to ever tip your crown for anybody. You've earned it. You know what I mean? Yes. Okay, music is changing. People are doing, but you can't expect people to respect you as things were. The same way how it came with Kim, little Kim. You know what I mean? Like she's the queen. Like she wears a crown. She don't tip it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't. Okay, so yes, like you don't see the clips trying to keep up with the younger rappers. Exactly. You don't see Bey trying to keep up with younger singers. Know your lane. Exactly. Because if you see even Beyonce, she pays attention to the trends and what's going on. But what she does with them is that she also creates a platform or opens doors for them. And also she collaborates with them. You know what I mean? But that's not what Nikki was doing or Nikki has been doing. You know, Nikki wants to compete. Oh, you think you're better than me? Because she's starting to see the deals go away. Okay, shit. They would have called her to do this first. They're calling fucking this next one to do it. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's trendy. The youth is always going to be what leads. You know what I mean? Why do you think that when it comes to the industry or anything that they have going on, they're always targeted at the youth? Right? Those are the ones that like when we get up to a certain age, we gotta worry about rent. We gotta worry about paying for fucking car notes. We have kids to take care of. We can't just be wasting money on like the consumerism starts to change. When you're younger, it's like okay, you want like you're in that kid mode. You just want what you want. So of course, when it comes to the entertainment industry, when it comes to wherever, they're gonna always target you first. So you have to know how to align yourself with what is happening that is useful in some way. You know what I mean? Of course, don't take away from who you are because you are who you are. But at the same time, change is change. Nothing ever stays the same. I loved Queen Nas. I loved Queen Radio. It was messy, but she was good at it. She sure was. But I think what fucked her up is that she was getting high. Like, look at the other day when she was at the space thing, where she went to the Elon Musk thing. I'm like, yo, I was like, yo, Nikki's high. She's fucking high right now. Nobody wants to work with her. No. Because she's mean, bro. She's very mean. She's not a nice lady. She's very mean. It's not like Nikki's easy to get along with. She's not a walk in the park, bro. At all. Yeah. But yes, let's keep going because we have four more situations to read on. I think it was pills, bro. It's giving pills. It's giving perks. It's giving perks. Like the way she was dragging her voice and everything, it's giving all of that. So yeah, so let's get into it. So we're gonna move on now to Khloe Kardashian. Okay, so I wanted to tap into Khloe Kardashian because I've seen a couple things. Obviously, we know, like what she's been going through and everything like that, and we've seen recently where friggin' Lamar Odom was like dissing her, whatever the case may be, or like just try to play the ass on her. You know what I mean? She's obviously doing her thing. She's a great mom. She's come out with her new popcorn and stuff like that. She's been, out there promoting it and everything like that. And now she's recently come out with a podcast, um, which actually you can put that in the comment box. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna add Mariah Carey into the. I'll add Mariah Carey into the viewer's choice video. So just put that in the comment box so I have it, so I can screenshot it and use it in the video. Um, but yeah, like I feel like she's in a grinding space right now, of course, considering all the things that she's been through. But I thought I wanted to tap into her because, like, I feel bad for Khloe. Like, I feel like Khloe is one of those people. Okay. There comes a point where you make connections with people, and when you make connections with people, it depends on the trauma or whatever you're going through in that time of your life. You know what I mean? And I always say, like, don't ever try to be the first person to love somebody that hasn't received the love that you're giving them, because you're going to always get yourself hurt. You know what I mean? Because people have a tendency that like I said, when you're the one that's treating them better or being the better person amongst all the people that have not done them right, they tend to turn around and treat you like the people that has done them dirty. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what's been happening with Khloe. I feel like always Khloe has a light worker spirit. You know what I mean? She's here to help. She's here to heal. And I think with Khloe is that she always finds herself in situations with people or in relationships where she ends up being the helper. You know what I mean? Or taking care of people. Like, I think that's always been projected on Khloe from when she was young. You know, it's like Khloe's gonna always be the one to help. Khloe's gonna always be the one that's gonna be the most understanding. Chloe's gonna be the one that's gonna always defend you. You know what I mean? And I don't think that. I think people always take that for granted because she has such a grace to her that when things go wrong or people deal with her fucked up, that she kind of takes it in stride. That people almost forget that she doesn't like she has feelings. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because I think in so many ways, because she's also this perfect person, people use her as a soundboard to make themselves feel confident. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's exactly what happened with Lamar. It's like, I feel with him because I don't like he's talking this shit, but I'm like, I really feel like he really did care about Khloe. I do. Do I feel like it was like in the moment type of situation, like that puppy love type of situation? Absolutely. I definitely feel like that was the case. But I get the sense, like when he was looking at ratings, you know what I mean? I think he felt like if he says something that was like out of pocket, that was gonna actually help the ratings of his documentary or his show or whatever the fuck he was doing. But what the sad part about it is, like, he never really took into account, like, he's just thinking about the Kardashian brand. You know what I mean? Like, he's looking at the brand and he's looking at how people perceive Khloe. You know what I mean? And how people perceive Khloe, or how people have Khloe, is like she's the one that's always had the bad luck in love. You know what I mean? Or she's the one that, like, she's like the Kardashian sister that people don't really respect. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when it came to what he was doing, he was just thinking about the ratings in the moment. Don't get me wrong. I do get the sense that I don't feel like there's something off with his emotions and his mentality. Like, I feel like there's a little bit of a weird detachment there going on. And I almost get like him making the statement, but pulling back after. You know what I mean? Because I think it's like when you do something in the heat of the moment and you're just kind of like, all right, I'm just doing this because I want to do this. But like when you actually have to sit back and take in how you hurt the person and be like, okay, fuck. Well, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. You know what I mean? So like I feel like with her, she's kind of like become Teflon with that because I think like she's getting a closer relationship with God. So it's like I feel like she knows the truth, you know? So and she knows why he did it. So I feel like she's kind of taking it with stride. Like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna take that up. But at the end of the day, you're just gonna have to live with the fuck you did to me. You know what I mean? But I think she's coming to her space. Hey, sincerely, serenity. Hi. I think she's coming to a space now that she's doing a lot of inner work, like on herself. I feel like that's the reason why she hasn't been dating anybody at all. Because I get the sense like she's tried to date. Like I see her try, like she tried to date. And then she just turned around and she's like, why am I fucking, like, why am I going to try to be with anybody that I don't want to be? You know what I mean? So I feel like she's taking a lot of time to work on herself and she's fully engulfed herself into parenting. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like her mentality is, you know, my child could never hurt me. Like your children love you because you're mommy. You know what I mean? And I can guarantee the love that I give my child and raising my child well, that there's a high chance that my child's not going to turn around and turn against me like a man would, you know? But I get the feeling like she's working on her trauma bonding habits. You know what I mean? Because I don't. Yeah, she's very content with herself. That's why, because she did so much inner work. You know what I mean? Like when you, it's like the Chiron, like being the wounded healer, where you're always trying to heal everybody else, but you're the one that's wounded. You know. But because you're wounded and you're trying to help everybody else, you're gonna get a scrape here. You're gonna get a stab in the back here. You're gonna get all these things there. I think this is the first time in her life that she's actually going inside of herself. You know what I mean? And realizing like it's weird because it's like I see her. She's a very accountable person. Like I see her taking, even with that whole Lamar situation and what happened with Tristan. Like she's taking accountability for what happened. Like not like she's blaming herself for what happened, but she's taking accountability of how she allowed herself to align herself with the men that she was with. And she knew the reason why she was doing it because she wasn't really loving herself. So she's not surprised at the outcome of being disrespected because she did not create these relationships out of like real love. They were more created out of validation. You know what I mean? But I feel like she gonna be single for a while though. Like I feel like she gonna be single for a minute. Like if she ends up with somebody, it's gonna be like that guy's gonna have to run her down. Like when I say like I see it being like a long-term friendship first. Like he's gonna have to like he will be madly in love with her and she'd be like, okay. You know what I mean? Like that's the energy I get. But eventually she'll open up to him. But she's gonna be very particular. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the reason why I see this because I feel like the love that she's been looking for all her life is the love that she realized that she could provide for herself. She never looked at relationships from a perspective of like that whimsy, like yeah, of course, like you have that feeling of like that romanticism and fantasy and all that thing. But I think a lot of relationships, she's put a lot of herself, her validation and self into them. Because she's more guarded now, exactly. Like you have to keep in mind, like Khloe was the fat girl. She was the fat sibling. Or the sibling that wasn't the pretty one, which she was always pretty, but you know what I mean? So I think a lot of times, like she would always see her sisters or people around her dating or whatever the case would be, and it was something that was so easy for her, that she felt like being in a relationship was gonna validate her beauty or validate who she is as a person or validate how she felt about herself. You know what I'm saying? And I think that like inner child, like adolescent person of who she is now healing. And she realizes like, okay, I never needed that. Like I am beautiful. I am gorgeous. I'm all these things. So like instead of her looking outward, she's looking inward. You know what I mean? But I feel like she will eventually start dating somebody, but it's gonna take a lot. And he's a nice guy, whoever this guy is. I feel like he works amongst celebrities, but I don't feel like he's exactly a celebrity. Yeah, because she's looking at like she's getting out of that superficiality. She's realizing like she's taking so much accountability for what she attracted, to herself. Like she doesn't feel like of course she sees like the assholeness in like the men that she's been, but she sees like, yo, I actually manifested these men. You know what I mean? Like if I am looking for superficial validation, why did I think that I was gonna attract a man that was deep? You know what I mean? Like if I if I'm looking for love, like how can I look for love from somebody that didn't exactly grow up with that or doesn't understand love or experience love on a level that I do? Like she's taking more accountability for what's happened to her. Not in a way of like beating herself up, but in a way of her understanding that like she's not the victim. It was really like cause and effect. You know what I mean? I did this, so that happened. It sucks. It's life, but I know better now. So I'm gonna move different now. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions? Oh yeah, let me see what I see coming up for her. I don't know. I see her getting in a disagreement with somebody online. I don't know. I feel like there's like I don't know if it's either a celebrity or something, but I feel like she's gonna give them like a clap back. I don't know. I get like she just gives them like a kind of clap back and moves on. I feel like her popcorn line is gonna be really good. I feel like there's gonna be like another edition or something that's gonna end up coming out up on it. But I don't know why I also get her into getting her. She's gonna end up getting into franchise because I don't know why I get like franchising on the horizon for her. Like I don't know if she opens up little kiosks or something like that, or she like opens store. But I see like multiple locations happening. I do see something coming up for her in fashion as well. I don't know. I see that as well. Fashion. It feels like fashion collaboration or whatever the case may be. But I feel like she's gonna. There's something that she was working on before, and I feel like she's gonna revamp it. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's like good American, like she's gonna find a way to come back, but like revamp it. But I feel like coming up, I get a number 8. So I don't know if it's in the next 8 months. I see like a shift coming up for her, but it's almost like she like her Midas touch gets re-energized, and like the shit that she's doing is gonna start to hit. You know what I mean? I think it's like really happening for her because how much better she feels about herself. You know what I mean? But it's like, but also it's not just that. It's also God's timing. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's like shit is gonna start to hit for her. Where it's like she's gonna be putting out shit and she's just like, yo, shit is just finally hitting now. You know what I mean? Like that's the energy I get around her. Her friendship with Malika. Hola, Emprego Fashionista. Be sure to like the video. Malika and her friendship. That's her sister. That's her sister. She loves that girl. Yeah, that's her sister. Like they're at the point that they're at the level of friendship that they're like sisters. Like she could tell Malika to go fuck herself. Malika could tell her to go fuck herself, and they will still be cool. Like they can beef and not talk for months, but yo, I'll be damned if you go talk shit about my homegirl. Like I will beat you in your fucking face. Like they're like they've graduated to sisterhood. And Malika doesn't play about her at all. She don't play about Malika, but she don't. Malika doesn't play about her. I would not be surprised. Malika definitely picked up that phone and called Lamar. She was not playing with him when he said that. You know what I mean? Because I see him back, like I see a phone call, like she's like backpedaling. Yeah, I feel like he got a little conference call still, and I feel like they kind of cornered him. You know? Yeah, yeah. Because I feel like Laura Odom's like he's like backing up, like kind of like okay, like let me not know. Yeah, he just wanted ratings. I keep getting that. I just feel like he just wanted ratings. Like he just knew it would be spicy, so let me throw that in. You know what I mean? Yeah. 'Cause I feel like he almost even came at her on that. And she's like, but why publicly embarrass me? Like, why do you have to make me look dumb? You know what I mean? And he was like, because it's like they were just following a narrative. You know what I mean? Because that is the Khloe Kardashian narrative. So let's add on to the narrative. You know what I mean? So like that's the energy that like I get. But I feel like, yeah, he's apologized to her and he don't apologize to her, but I don't feel like she's in a space that she feels like she needs it. She'll like it, but she doesn't need it. Because at the end of the day, he did all that only to make himself look stupid. Like, the fuck you saying that about her for? After this girl saved your life. Like, are you dumb? Like, I'm telling you, men, bro. Not all men, but always a man. You know? But yes, any more questions? Any more questions? Yeah, he's a mess. He was messed up for that. Like he was messed up. But that's the industry though. That's entertainment. Like people will do whatever it is they're gonna do if it means them getting ahead. Like that's what it is. And I don't even think it was really his idea. I'm not even gonna lie. I have a feeling that it wasn't really his idea. But I think that this guy's broke. I feel like his pockets are empty. And if he had to sell a story, he's gonna sell a story. You know what I mean? If it means that it's gonna get him something. As I said, not all men, but always a man. Yes. So let's just move right along. We're going to move into a channel message. Okay. Okay, so we're moving into a channel message with Yemiya. So today, of course, I've been when I went to Spain, I went to the water. Like for me, whenever I travel, I'm gonna always find where the sea is at. Because of course, I live in Toronto. In Toronto, we don't have any seas. It's the lake. You know what I mean? All bodies of water are yummy, yeah, but there's nothing more powerful than actually going to the sea, the salt water, and actually praying to get me out. So I think it was like my second last day. Yeah, my second last day, or my second last day, or third last day, I went to the water, brought her some offerings, did some prayers for some clients and everything like that. But like where I was right now, I'm like, I just want to be led. You know what I mean? Like, where do you lead me? Um, it was when I did my crowning, and this is over. How long have I been my crowning now? This year will be 5 years. Damn, time flies. I did my crowning. I started the beginning of the year with Yemiya. And as you know, Yemiya was all overseas, but she also, the significance of her emblems are boats, right? So pretty much I took a journey with Yemiya. And I'm in that same season of like just journeying. You know what I mean? But when it comes to Yemiya, she rules over all things that are water. So anything that is good or anything that is bad. You know what I mean? I find that when it comes to Yemiya, she's very big on the whole family dynamic. You know what I mean? She is the mother, but the whole family dynamic, ancestry. You know what I mean? She is the one that carries all the waters forth for those things. You know what I mean? So in a lot of ways, especially when we're talking to the darker waters, we talk about lower vibrational entities, right? It was through Yemiya where Yemiya taught me how to actually identify something by its spirit. You know what I mean? Because we have to understand that we live amongst good and evil at all times. You know what I mean? But when it comes to evil, and you have to be able to not only just identify the evil or identify the stronghold, but also identify the spirit of where it comes from. So a lot of spirits, especially when it comes to like the spirit of Leviathan, you know what I mean? Which is the spirit of envy, whatever. Um, what's another one? What's another one? A lot of spirits. I gotta look up some of the deadly sins. Those spirits will fall under water spirits. Okay, so today I was joining with Yamiya, and she brought up again a lesson that I learned on spiritual embargoes. Okay, so you wonder what a spiritual embargo is. Spiritual embargoes talks on the strongholds, the blocks, or negativity in the name of Jesus that we may have over our lives that we could have inherited ancestrally, where we inherit them in the mind, we might inherit them in the spirit, but just things or parts in ourselves where we feel like we're being blocked or we're feeling like we're being attacked or whatever the case may be, right? The reason why I talk on this, because I feel like, especially with clients or people, they've come to me and they kind of feel like there's a sense of feeling stuck, you know what I'm saying? Or a sense of feeling like, you know, their life is not getting the way that it should be. You know what I mean? We have to also get into the energy of operating spirits. You know what I mean? So, Yemi, I was telling me about this. I remember this was like 8 years ago. You know what I mean? I was going through a situation where I was under spiritual attack, right? I was under a snare. The snare that was sent to me was a snare to actually try to attempt to take my life, right? Obviously, they weren't successful. But we have to understand that when it comes to when negativity is sent or negativity is attracted, that the negativity can only fester on the lower vibrational aspects of yourself that you already possess in your energy. You know what I'm saying? So when I had a spiritual embargo, right? One of the spiritual embargoes that I had was manifesting to different things in my life that had to do with ancestry. Okay. So the ancestry line that it was actually attaching itself to was the spirit of betrayal, right? So there was a spiritual embargo that was carried down because, for example, that spiritual embargo that was carried down by somebody that was a maternal figure in my family, right? Which she was actually betrayed by her own people, right? So that's how my grandmother passed away at a young age, was that she was betrayed by her own people. So obviously, me coming forth, me being spiritual or me being a woman that's coming through that line, through those loins, I'm going to carry a spiritual embargo. Okay. So then I would notice in my life, right? What would end up happening is that I kept attracting the same cycle over and over and over and over again. And it doesn't matter what I did. You know what I mean? No matter what I did, no matter how I operated in situations, whatever the case may be, that embargo kept reoccurring in my life, right? One of the things that I had to actually go through when I got my crowning was to actually face that embargo, right? At first, I didn't exactly identify and knew what it was until when I, to my mom I was like, this is an embargo you're going to have to face. Because as you break this embargo, because I've always known it was been called on my life to break a generational curse, but I didn't know on what level that meant until I knew what level that meant. And that was to break that embargo so that I wasn't carrying it down to different lines. I wasn't passing it down to my son. I was passing it down to his kids and his kids and his kids and his kids and his kids, was to break that embargo. You know what I mean? Sometimes people even have religious embargoes. You know what I mean? It's like, say, for example, I even had one of those too I had to break, where it's like, for me, when I became doing what I do and got my crowning, one thing I was not going to denounce was my service to Jesus Christ and my belief in Jesus Christ. I wasn't going to denounce that at all. And I was very, because this has to do with Ifa. Because people look at Ifa like a religion. I'm going to get into that just now. People look at Ifa as a religion, when Ifa is not actually a religion. It's actually a system and a way of life. You know what I mean? So for me, again, like some people fully practice and don't worship God or whatever the case may be. But for me, because I devoted my life to Christ and I gave my heart to Christ, like wholeheartedly, that when I took my crown, I was like, when I took my family's crown, I'm like, I'm not denouncing God. And not just that, it was because I had literally people in my life that like did some really dark shit. You know what I mean? I vowed that it passes down. You know what I mean? That all that passed through my loins, serve Christ. You know what I mean? Serve God. You know? How you break a spiritual disembargo? First of all, you need to identify the pattern, okay? So we have to understand, and if people always say or think that they have enemies, people don't realize that half the time that is you don't have any enemies. You could be your own worst enemy. Not just because of action, but it can also manifest in thought. Okay. So the biggest thing I always say with a spiritual embargo and you identifying one is looking at things in your life that constantly repeat. Yes, a spiritual system, way of life. That's what Ifa is, right? It's a spiritual system and it's a way of life that I resonate and I pattern under because I'm naturally a practitioner of which, as I like to say spiritualist. I don't like to say witch. That's very, that's like almost like a Westerner's way. You know what I mean? I like to call myself a spiritualist, or maybe better yet, an alchemist. You know what I mean? Because obviously I do work with the elements, right? So what like that's what Yemiya is. Shango, you know, Ogon, Oya, Elegua. You know, all aspects of elements, right? Like when we go back into the stories or we see in the Bible about all the manifestations and the miracles that Jesus had performed, that's because Jesus was an alchemist. He worked with the elements, right? All the elements and all the things that we have that are elementally in this world are all things and creatures of God, right? So, how to break a spiritual disembargo? Yamiya's showing patterning, right? So in Ifa, what we would do is that we will go through a legua, right? So that means I'll go through your roads. I'll see what's on your roads and different things in your life because obviously a legua rules over all the roads, all the pathway in your life, right? So imagine walking and there's like a gate. Like, you ever see those like little maze games where it's like, okay, did you do this? And it's like you say yes, and then it kind of brings you down here. And it's like, oh no, then you go over here. You know what I mean? Like all the decisions that we make in life or how all the mental systems or the mentalities that we have in our mind have all been created from an experience, whether it be that it was something that was passed down or projected on us to believe, or there were actual experiences that we've actually went through and it's caused us to it change our perception and how we think and we look at everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest thing I say to break a spiritual disembargo and how I had to break one was me noticing the patterns. Like where I go back to what I was saying, that happening to me, right? I started to notice that it started manifesting, the evil was manifesting in the relationships of people around me. You know what I mean? It started to manifest in a way where it was like it was using like people as a vessel. You know what I mean? Either to one, give me wrong direction, or to obviously betrayal was there, but wrong direction, or to redirect me in a space of where I need to move and evolve forward. Right. So we have to understand that spiritual disembargos, they're also mental. Spiritual disembargos can also be oral. Okay. And again, like I said, they could be passed down through ancestry. You know what I mean? For example, I have somebody I know, right? We were talking today, and she has a person around her, a family member, that's always trying to set out snares in her life. You know what I mean? Always trying to create blocks in her life, And she vibrationally is obviously working her way out of that energy. Um, and then one day, she had a friend come to her. I was coming to her and trying to give her some advice. Like there's something she's so set on doing, and she really wants to do it, right? And this person's been supportive, you know what I mean, giving her advice, whatever the case would be, and how to do it. And out of nowhere, the person just started like just trying to discourage her or put the spirit of discouragement in her heart and started to like try to derail her and tell her to do different things or do that or do whatever, which is completely opposite of like not only of like what she's planning on doing, but like even what she's qualified to do. You know what I mean? It's like It's like you having your doctorate in medical and I'm telling you to go work at McDonald's. Like maybe like the economy, like maybe you're gonna pay too much in taxes. Maybe you should just work at McDonald's instead. Like, why would you tell somebody that is up here to pedal down and go here? It makes no sense. You know what I mean? And she started to get upset. I stopped and I just heard it like instantly. And I'm like, that's not him. And she's like, what? I go, that's not him. I go, that's a snare. That's not him. I'm like, he was being used, okay, to say that to you, to discourage you. Because then that way, the spirit of doubt would be put into your mind and it would manifest that way. And what you really want would be blocked from you, or you wouldn't actually get it because you allowed yourself to listen to somebody that you felt like you could trust. And she stopped and she's like, you're right. I'm like, yeah. She's like, no, because when I think about it, it didn't even make sense that he would say that because we were so doing this and that. I go, exactly. I'm like, that's a spiritual disembargo that was sent for your life. You have to be able to have discernment. You know what I mean? That the devil will even use what is around you and who is around you or things around you to keep that stronghold. You know what I'm saying? That's why at all times you're always challenged to always keep your vibration up. But most of all, pay attention to patterns. If you always see the same thing manifesting, the same thing happening, and it's happening through different people and different situations, that ain't a coincidence, honey. That's an embargo. That's something that needs to be addressed. So Yemiya was talking to me about those things. It's like all things in life and how you move through life should flow like water. You know what I'm saying? It should always have a flow to it. And when you notice that things are not going, when there is a disembargo in your life, is when there is disruption in flow. You understand? And we have to understand that attack, like I'm not saying spiritual attack does not exist. People can't do that. You know what I mean? But if I've noticed anything that people are like their own worst enemy, I've been my own worst enemy. You know what I mean? Because say for example, if I went through something traumatic and now I'm choosing to digest that, a certain way, that it's allowing me to feel like, okay, this has happened when it's not. And I realized like, I'm like, you only can let things happen to you that you allow. You know what I'm saying? So I say this, and the message is coming through from Yemiya, is that she's saying that this is a time, and I feel like the pocket is between now and the next 2 weeks to do a lot of cleansing. Okay. And now I'm not just thinking just cleansing when it comes to actually doing a bath. Bath is great. Yes, you could do cleansing, washing, you know what I mean? There's a number of herbs and different things that you could do. But I think a really good way to actually start cleansing and detoxing is your mind. Okay. And what you could do that is through your subconscious mind, right? So there's meditations you can do to clear your subconscious mind that it needs either a upgrade or a graph. Like I'm a Reiki master, so I literally feel everything. I'm very sensitive. Like I've done work to clear my subconscious mind, and I could literally feel like energy coming out the back of my ears. Like I would feel it coming out, and then I would start noticing little things. Like where I remember I was talking to my homegirl, I don't even know she's in the room, and there was something like something happened, and I stopped to myself. I'm like, yo, who told me that I had to do this? And it was, but I created a whole mindset around something that I had to operate this way. And I'm like, but who told me that I had to do it? Like, I don't get where that came from. You know what I mean? And as I was like going down the strings of the road, like it brought me back to like myself at 9 years old. And I was like, oh, okay, so I went through this situation that made me think, like, now that I'm older, now that I'm wiser, I can confirm that that's not what it is. You know what I mean? Um, Another way about spiritual disembargos is also, what would you say the best gift for a Reiki master would be? What do you mean the best gift for a Reiki master would be? What do you mean? Like, what's the best case of having it? Like, or like, what do I mean? If you have any question, guys, like, please feel free to ask. Because it's a very, like, I'm trying to explain this to you guys so that you guys understand. Because, like, when I had to experience this lesson in my dissertation, it was so internal for me that, oh, okay. A great thing is to get is like iron rods, like the chakra reader iron rods. Those are really good. Or it's not iron, copper rods are really good. You can never go wrong with stones. Never could go wrong with stones. Shapes, either shapes, pyramids, whatever the case may be, will be cool. What's another thing? Some people like to have cards. I don't usually, because I'm a channeler, I don't work with cards, but people like oracle cards too. Yes, Ricky's very interesting. I've always been I've always been a good healer with my hands. You know what I mean? I was always called to actually be initiated or to be certified in Reiki. But initially, what I got certified in Reiki was for my son. So I knew like some of what was going on with my son was a bit spiritual, just about how he channels and stuff like that and energy. So I got certified just before my son went into school so that I could help him align himself, like starting school. Because obviously, like better part of the first 4 years of his life was heavily spiritual. So amongst other things, as a mother, I wanted to be able to keep him more aligned and grounded and able to like be able to ground himself in a space where he would have to be more of a three-dimensional thinker than a 4 or 5D. You know what I mean? So that's why I ended up getting certified. And of course, I would do Reiki on clients and whatever the case may be. And it was when did I get my master's? I think I did my master's 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah. So I did my 1 and 2, and then I went for my master's. So it really did help heal him. Yes, it did. It really did help heal him. Like, as I started to do Reiki on him and he started school, he was almost nonverbal. And within 3 or 4 months of him being in school, he became verbal from Reiki, from his mother doing Reiki on him. So yeah, he's actually doing really good. Really, really good. And now with age and like routine and him getting used to school and everything, he's doing great. Hold on, give me a second. What the hell? So any questions about spiritual disembargos or embargoes? I keep saying disembargos, but it's embargoes. What's wrong with my phone? Like, I don't get what's going on here. There we go. Any questions? Okay. No? Okay. But yeah, we're closing that out. Like I said, when it comes to embargoes in your life, go down the roads and go down the patterning of your inner child, your adolescence, your adult life, and look at the patterns of things that have happened, what mindsets that you've been happening around you, like what minds, how has your mindset and how you've dealt with situations manifested some of the situations that you have in your life. Also, when it comes to how the order of how you were born, like what did your mom go through? What did your mom's mom go through? What did your mother's mother go through? I don't know how far people can go back. You know what I mean? Not everyone knows everyone's story. Like, you know what I mean? Even when it comes to yourself, look at those aspects. You know what I mean? Like even today, I had my girl. She messaged me, client. She messaged me, and there was a clutter. She showed me this clutter room, and she's like, "Yo, I feel like an energy in this room." And I'm like, I'm sure there could be an energy, but sometimes it could even be remnants because remnants can also masquerade itself as an entity too, especially because like when you see entities, like they have like they carry this like this stickiness to them. You know what I mean? So even when the actual entity is gone, the stickiness or the remnants of the actual energy is still there that needs to cleanse, right? But she was showing me the space, and I seen the space and it was very cluttered. And I was like, yo, you need to break up the energy in the room. So I'm like, start moving things around. Like get things from away from the corners of the walls. Like, you know what I mean? Start putting things around. Start bringing order. Because you have to understand chaos manifests in chaos. Order manifests in order. I'm like, take things out. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, and when she did that, she's like, the energy shifted. I'm like, exactly. So it's like when if you feel like there is a stronghold, there obviously you have to unbreak the stronghold. The stronghold doesn't necessarily have to be like praying is one thing, of course, number one, or cleansing is one thing, is number one. But what patterning? What are the patterns and some of the things that you're doing that is causing the stronghold to have a building block? To manifest and to hold. You know what I mean? So you break it apart. And as you break it apart, then it's easier for you to cleanse. And as you cleanse, you make a new way. As you make a new way, you make a new vibration. And it erases. There you go. So I guess I'll leave you guys with that. Any more questions? Any more questions? No? Okay, so we're going to move right on. Okay. So, word on the street, bro, that there were some gunshots that rang out at the White House this evening, child. So, like, I listen, this is what I don't like, okay? Because when you are rich, or if you're rich and you're not of the melanated species, it's like people forget ghetto is ghetto. You know what I mean? They only apply ghetto-ness to only black people. You've never heard in the whole history of the White House of as much drama, ghetto-ness, and trashiness that has carried out in the White House more than when this man Donald Trump has been in the office, okay? Because why is shots ringing outside of the White House like we're in fucking Chicago? Okay? Like, why do I feel like this is like a turf war? Like, what is happening? Why people are literally coming out of pocket and really, and all this drama is happening around you? For what? You know what I mean? I'm literally just typing that. I saw a news lady duck for cover of many shots. Yes! He's ghetto. He is so fucking ghetto. And they don't apply ghetto to him because he has money. And he's not of the melanated nature. But he's ghetto as fuck. Like, what kind of hood shit's that happen up there? Thank you. You live in the shy, so you know how to get down. Bro, not even 50 Cent has this kind of drama. And 50 Cent have get killers that hate him. Okay? And you mean to tell me that Donald Trump has been in the friggin' office and in all the years and history of that. Next to when JFK died, at least they shot JFK on road. You know what I mean? Have you ever heard about the White House getting broken into, rioted, parties, dances getting shot up? Okay, like where are we in the hood? Like Dash is getting shot up. This guy's out here ringing out shots outside of the White House. This guy trying to run up, like, what? Like, who's in charge above him? Because at this point, I do not sense that anybody is subscribing to this script. I feel like everybody literally are bounded by law. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, but yo, Barack would never, never. And they hated his ass. Would never. You never seen none of that. And that man sat up in that White House for 8 years. And you never seen none of that hood shit happen over there. Like, they even shot him the other day. Like, what are you? Like, who are you, bro? Don Corleone? Like, who the fuck are you? Like, what? Like, we all know we hate Trump, but like come on. Okay? So, supposedly, allegedly, what they have said is whoever fucking was shot at the place is now dead. Okay? It's still a developing story. I haven't read up on anything after that. That was like the latest of what I saw as of 10 o'clock. So, yeah, I'm not sure. If anybody wants to add to the story, build the story as we go, we can. But I haven't heard or seen anything ever since, okay? So let's get into this whole gunshots at the White House and who shot up the White House. Okay. Okay. So, okay, this is not an inside job. I don't feel like this is an inside job, but I don't feel like they got the person that did it though. Hold on, no. Okay, all right. So this is what Spirit's saying to me. It's in connection for hire, but it's an outside source. Okay, so almost like the energy that I'm getting, it's almost like there could be members of the administration that outsource people, whether it be actors, whatever the case may be, to perform certain acts to steer a narrative or to steer control the way they want to. Okay. I don't know why that this is being connected to the reconstruction of the White House. Like, I don't know why I feel like that's why this is happening. Is to carry out that plan. But it's like, I feel like even though it's like people think it's like just a regular ballroom, like I feel like there's like some kind of investment of some sort. Like it's more to it than just getting in. Like I feel like I see like three different entities of people that like, I don't know if money gets filtered, they can filter money through it in some way or it benefits them financially. But I feel like that's the reason why that they want this to happen. But it's not a story that's going to stick. Because I'm not going to lie, I feel like Trump is not feeling too well. I don't feel like he's feeling too hot. I feel like by July, it's like things are going to start coming to a head where it's like it's going to feel like, why were we all hyped? And now it's like, okay, things are fizzling out. You know what I mean? Because I feel like whatever they predicted for the programming to hit, it did not hit how they thought it was going to chill. Because that's what I feel right now. Because I see a lot of pullback happening. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's going to be some more chaos coming out of the White House. So there's some more chaos. I don't know why I see like a protest. I don't know why I see a protest happening too. That feels like I get sick. So I don't know if that's in June or whatever. But I feel like I see something like that as well. And something's going to happen. And it's going to have people outraged. I'll tell you that. But it's just like, I feel like they're kind of running out of freaking ideas at this point. Like, that's the energy I'm getting. Because it's like, usually when it comes to these things, whether it's a win or a fail, they usually have people to back it up. And I don't get that. I don't get that they have that much backup. Not from the right people or the people they need to have back them up. Like, for example, if Netanyahu died, for real, like, them Jews are like, hell no. There's some kind of humbling there, child. Because it's like, it's almost like the energy, like when you set out to do something and it doesn't go as planned, and it's like, okay, y'all, like, well, I wasn't planning on it not going as planned, so now I ain't got no fucking plan. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the energy I'm getting. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I don't know why I keep on getting a break. A break. I don't know if Donald Trump takes a break from the internet or they pull back, but I don't know why I get like something happening where I don't think it's often that you see this happen in the White House where they're like, okay, like we're gonna take a little recess. Guys, see a break happening. Yeah. Yeah. Any questions? I know it's late, guys. Any questions? If you're new in the room or coming into the room, be sure to like the video. I see everyone in the room, but I ain't saying nothing. All right, no? So now we're gonna move right along into the last reading of the night. So who are we reading on now? Hi, Gina. Who are we reading on right now? We're reading on Drake, Mr. Iceman, Mr. Six, Mr. Toronto Child. So I thought I'll tap into Drake because, as you know, Drake has taken a hiatus. Drake had taken a hiatus after the whole Kendrick Lamar bullshit that happened, or the Kendrick Lamar beef, which I honestly think was the most smartest thing to do. I feel like Drake had to go through a rebirth. You know what I mean? Thank you, Gina. Thank you for the $5. Um, he got to go through a rebirth. Um, I feel like the entity persona that he used to once carry had to go through like a spiritual assassination. You know what I mean? So I feel like he got enough time to actually sit back, cleanse, regroup. You know what I mean? I still feel like he's still really hurt about what happened, but whatever. Regroup, and he's taken some time to actually work on this album that he came out. He actually put out this album, which was actually a three-part album or three albums in one, which I feel like was, well, let's get it out. Three albums in one. Um, of course, he did touch on some things and some storylines. He did touch on the Kendrick situation in the album. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't fully listened to the album yet at all. I plan on doing that, I guess maybe this weekend, just so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, some people, it has very mixed reviews. A lot of people, I guess, really diehard Drake fans are just happy that he is back and he came back with some content. Others have said that it's just garbage. It's basura. It's fucking disgusting. It's whatever. They're not really feeling the album. But of course, I just want to tap in to see what's going on with Drake and what's to come, and just where his mindset is right now with everything. Okay, 140. Okay, we're not doing too bad. Okay, so like I said, I feel like Drake is still hurt about the whole Kendrick Lamar situation. I feel like it was a very humbling situation for him. You know what I mean? I think not just obviously humbling because he lost or whatever the case may be, but I think it was even humbling to see him actually see, it made him really see his circle. You know what I mean? Like people that he really thought he could trust or people he thought he had control over, that he realized like he was giving some power or giving some trust to people that he really shouldn't have. Because at the end of the day, when shit went left, it's like they couldn't really even steer it right in the slightest. You know what I mean? But I kind of feel like he feels like he's happy it happened. Like it's in a way where it's like it sucks because it's like no man wants to take a loss like that, but at the same time, it's like he feels like he needed that. You know what I mean? Because I think he was coasting too much. Like something like things change when you're not hungry no more. You know what I mean? Like he got to a space that he wasn't hungry anymore. Like he was at the top of the game. Like nobody was in competition with him. You know what I mean? Nobody was doing numbers like him. No one was making money like him. And it's like I feel like he started to get to a point where it was like he just went into cruise control and like got stuck in cruise control. You know what I mean? And what ended up happening was it's like it obviously being in that cruise control, like it got him in a space where he started to get too cocky. And he started to get not only just cocky, but he wasn't hungry anymore. You know what I mean? So he feels like he wasn't putting forth the effort. Like even though, like as we know over the years and we've been watching, like he has been putting out some good music, but for him, it's like I feel like he feels like he was allowing things around him to slack. You know what I mean? Because he felt like he had it too under control. So I feel like he likes. It's like see, as because he's a Scorpio, and as Scorpios, like we're used to change. You know what I mean? Like we get to a point when things don't change quick enough for us. It's like we either have the tower moment, we use the tower moment as our evolution, or we're like the phoenix, we rise from our ashes. You know what I mean? So like that's the thing with Scorpios. Like it's like we're used to evolvement. You know what I mean? So I think that he feels like it gave him the opportunity to actually evolve into whoever he is. But I don't feel like he feels like he's arrived yet. You know what I mean? He feels like it's opening a door for a new evolvement. Like as you can see, like when it comes to this album, like of course, like when it came to like Kendrick Lamar and him dissing him, obviously, you know, Kendrick Lamar is an LA guy. Where like he's from Toronto. You know what I mean? Toronto is substantially a lot smaller than LA. You know what I mean? And it damn near does not have the reputation that LA has at all. And I feel like what he keeps doing or what he usually does is that he kind of goes back to the past and like where he came from and then like use that as his gateway. You know what I mean? Yes, yes. Scorpios are major transformative always, even if it hurts. 110%. 110%. So like he always like you know how the saying goes, if you don't know where you're coming from, you'll never know where you're going. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's why he had to like tap into that raw inner Toronto guy. You know what I mean? Because it's like you gotta understand it being from here. You know what I mean? And being like in the industry. Like you have to understand, like coming from Toronto, especially being an artist or whatever the case may be, we can't just be good. We gotta be great. You know what I mean? Because we already have this, there's always this stigma or this like impression of like what people think Toronto is, especially when it comes to the urban scene, that is projected on us. And we have to literally rise above that just to even get like some simple respect with the peers in the game. You know what I mean? Is he done with his deal now or will he be independent? I think that I don't think he's done with his deal because I feel like whatever record execs that he signed under, like he got really deep connections with them. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Drake has a really good deal. I think he has probably one of the best deals that you can have in the industry. And I think for him, when it comes to the administrative side, yeah, I heard administrative, like the administrative side and the legal side of the industry, he feels like it can't get better than what he has. And he doesn't want to have to be responsible for having to take that over. So he sticks with them. Cause I feel like the guy that hit the exec is almost like the guy's like damn near family to him. So no, you know what I mean? I don't think so. Yeah. But I feel like it's somebody in the higher up or one of the execs are gonna end up passing away. I don't know why. And I mean like he may use that as a gateway to part his ways. Because it's like, okay, well if Jim's not up here, then I'm gone. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I get the energy of that possibly happening. You know what I mean? Is that? But I feel like, yeah, like Drake, especially even when he put out his album. If you notice that he systematically put out the album, he put out 3 albums. He did that on purpose, okay? Because he wanted to make sure that he could dominate the chart, no matter what, that he would one of those 3 albums would be number one. That's why he put out all 3 of them. You know what I mean? And it was trickery for the unit numbers. So that his numbers were also up as well. Because he's noticing that his numbers are down. Like, for example, look at the videos that he just put up. You know what I mean? There was one video I seen that he put up, and it was posted 4 days ago, and it wasn't even at 1 million views. I was like, hey! I'm like, bro, I've never seen a Drake video not touch 10 million views within a day. You know what I mean? Like, his numbers are not what the same is. Because I feel like, I don't know why I get this not just the algorithm, but how things work. Like, their systems are changing. And I feel like the systems are changing to the point that even the people that have control can't even get their leeway. You know what I mean? Like, it's getting really tight for people to make numbers now. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's like they're doing this because it's almost like, for example, when you have the rich are not really taxed, but the poor people are. You know, it's almost like, I think that the whole aim was like the richer gets richer, the poor gets poorer. But now it's like the rich are also finding the rich are also experiencing that too. It wasn't just for the people that are the small guys. The rich are like the pocket and the door of the rich, or how much control you have. That door is starting to close down as well. It's getting tighter and harder for people as well. Yeah. Any questions before I move into the next part of the reading? Okay, no. All right, so let's see what's going on with Drake when it comes to love life. Yee. I don't think that Drake. Oh, does he? Don't does he participate with the dark side of the music industry? He has. He does. He doesn't have a problem with that. I don't know why I get that energy. Like, he doesn't have a problem with that. Like, he's been exposed to, because remember I just said that Drake grew up Jewish, so it's like there's not that heavy influence on like God or experience. Like, I'm not saying God, but I feel like people like the Holy Ghost. You know what I'm saying? Um, I don't think Drake looks at it like that. Drake is very 3D about spirit. Like, he's an intuitive guy. He has been exposed to different things, but his mindset on how he applies himself to the spiritual world is it's very third dimensional in a way. You know what I mean? Like, it's very much like, in a sense of, when he regards the industry, he does not regard it with spirituality. It's like, it's just what you do. You know what I mean? Like that, and I think that comes from like that whole Jewish mentality of how he was raised. You know what I mean? Because, like, again, when it comes to Judaism, they're very insulated in their, not only in their religions but in their cultural systems, right? And I feel for him that that's how he looks at things. You know, like, he looks at it like that's what just comes with the territory. If that's what I'm required to do, that's what I have to do because it's what people do that are in my position. Like, there's no remorse for it. Oh, Scorpio might always have a dark side to that. Hey, Scorpio men and Scorpio women are day and night, but Scorpio men, whoa, hey. Listen, I've dated a Scorpio man before. But listen, I'm not being biased. The best Scorpio man I've ever met is my father. Okay? He's a good man. You know what I mean? But Scorpio men, hey, when they dabble on that side, they get there, bro. Let me tell you. But they're very accountable men. I'll tell you that. Like at the end of the day, once they realize they're wrong, they really do take accountability. I can give them that. Because he takes accountability for his actions. Like he feels bad for the things that he's done. But like when it comes to that stuff, the industry stuff, like that's like another day at the job. Like that's what it is for him. It's just another day at the job. It sucks. I don't like it, but this is what I gotta do. So this is what I'm gonna do. Like that's it, Jacob. But like as for his love life, like Drake always has his bottom bitch, and that could even be his child's mother. You know what I mean? Like Drake will always have his bottom bitch, but he's gonna always be messing with women. But he's getting to that place now that he's starting to realize that I don't know if he wants to settle down with somebody, but I think he's scaling back less on who he is intimate with. You know what I mean? I feel like he feels like, see, now when it comes to like the whole thing of the strongholds and stuff, I think he started to identify that the promiscuous, him being promiscuous was changing him. You know what I mean? Like he started to notice that he was taking on way too much, like too much energy. So like I feel like he started to scale back now. I feel like just like cleansing. You know what I mean? Like he still is a horny bastard. Like I feel like he still has his ways. Like if he sees he can't make some vagina pass him. You know what I mean? But I feel like he's out of space right now where he started to realize like he needs to scale back. I heard boring. He's finding it like it's getting boring now. He got stuck. See, that's the spiritual embargo too. Like he got stuck. He feel like he got stuck. He's like, that's why I feel like he's almost like happy about the Kendrick thing. Because it's like he got so stuck in a cycle and the cycle was too easy and he was just getting away with murder until he just didn't anymore. And he feels like he's grateful that happened because that was a catalyst for the shift of going in another direction now. You know what I mean? So like that's where he's at right now. You might hear of him dating somebody else, but at the end of the day, like you're never gonna ever hear like him exclusively tied to somebody on a consistent basis. Like I don't think so. It's almost like make the best one win. It's like it's giving like when his bottom bitch comes, it's like okay, it's really at the bottom, like on the last of days, chat. Like that's the energy I get. So let's see what's coming up for him when it comes to business or anything coming up, predictive or whatever. Oh, I see a tour coming up soon. I feel like he's gonna go back on the road. But I see him collabing on the road with somebody else. So I don't know if it's like he might do a couple shows with another artist and they come up with a little like small tour. But I feel like he's gonna go back on the road again. You know what I mean? I feel like in the far future he might do a residency. I don't know why. Like I see like once he's like 45 or so, he's probably gonna do like a residency. But it feels to me like I know I see that he has an airplane, but I wouldn't be surprised if he actually gets into aviation. I don't know why I get that too. Because I see like him branching out into business stuff and it has something to do with like aviation or like transportation or whatever the case may be. I feel like that's something he's planning. But like it's funny because like we're talking about people in the industry. Like I was saying, like everybody, when it comes to music and stuff like that, after a certain time they start opening up their own businesses and stuff and like kicking back on their legacy when it comes to their businesses. But I get the sense like he really loves the music thing. Like he doesn't really want to let that go. Like I feel like he really loves being an artist. I think he enjoys being an artist, even though if he has business endeavors. Like, because if you really look at Drake, it's like yes, he's had business endeavors, but there are more things that have to do with the brand. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like almost like OVO fan memorabilia. You know what I mean? Or like stationary shit. But I think like there's gonna be two offers that are gonna come on the table for him that actually have to come with business. One of them has to do with transportation, and travel or something. But I also see something with properties as well that he's gonna end up doing because Drake has money. He has money in galore, and he knows he can make even more money. But that's like money for him is not the fun part. It's the challenge. You know what I mean? Yes, he profits a lot from it, but it's also the challenge and being in the industry and competing and staying at the top and coming out with content. Like that's more his thing. You know what I mean? But I feel like he's gonna run into some beef or something with somebody else. But I don't think he's gonna really like answer to anybody anymore. Yeah, I feel like he feels like his beef days are over. Like that's what he gets. Like it's not even like a sore loser thing. It's almost like, okay, I'm too old for this now. Like why am I still, you know what I mean? But it's like I feel like he's attracted to it because he likes the competition of it. Like he just likes it. Like he's pushing that envelope. Can this Toronto nigga really make a guy for the States feel like he's not somebody? Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, when it comes to Drake, it's like Drake has to understand that he's not as hungry as these niggas. So like it's like his lyricism sometimes is not up to match. You know what I mean? Is he going to dabble more in the house music sound? Yes, I see him doing that for sure. He is. I think he might yeah. 'Cause I feel like he's gonna try to come out like do something like more mainstreamy and housey at the same time. But yeah, he is. I think collaborative efforts too. Like I feel like he's gonna start like I know like obviously he's been sampling from a lot of different people, and there has been controversy of him stealing from other people. But Drake has been doing that his whole career. Like I actually personally know a few artists here in Toronto because I used to work in the industry that he's like they used to write for him. You know what I mean? And he's never given them credit. So um yeah, he's gonna do that. But I feel like he's gonna start being more collaborative. Like start to give people more their flowers. He might start up signing people again too. I don't know. I get that because it seems like two or three other people. Like, but it feels like younger crowd that he's gonna sign. 'Cause I think he's gonna start signing people again. Yeah, that'll happen in the next year or two. Within the next year or two, he's gonna start doing that. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions? So like it's burning. Is this person's real persona real, or did he learn that from being in the industry so long? He has a number of personas, but I feel a lot of this gangster stuff that's been being in the industry so long. Because he really got handlers, bro. Like, yeah, he may not grown up in the hood, but like, you think there's not people out here that would kill for Drake? Of course there is. You think there's not real gangsters out here that respect Drake? Of course there are. You know what I'm saying? Like, that has been developed through the industry. You know what I mean? His other persona, how he is, no, that's just naturally who he is. But he really got hitters. Like he really, really, really got hitters. Like he really got people that would do something for the child. Name the price. You'll put something on your top quick, quick. Yes. Yes. Well, well, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Any questions? So yes, that's what I see on Drake. If you have any questions at all, oh, he seems like somebody that you don't want to piss off. No, you don't. But I feel like he's a person that he's slow to anger. But he was going through a stage at that point, like that after that whole like, what's his name? What's the guy from Florida's name again that got killed? The XXX Tentacion stage. Oh, he was on some crazy shit those days. On those days, he was on that. He was on some bullshit. He really was. But I feel like now it takes a lot. But he can. He will. He will. Because the thing is with Drake, when people don't like Drake, they don't like him, man. Like she realizes like for him, when he gets enemies, they're not like this fifi enemies. Like they don't like him at all. They don't like him at all. Like they want to take his head off. Like that's the reason why he feels like he has to come at people so heavy. Because I think like he came out in the industry just being kind and cool and whatever. Like, just that laid back Toronto guy that's just like, yo, like what up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I think he realized very quickly, like, people really were fucking with him. He had to boss up on a real level. You know what I mean? So that people did not think he was soft. Because people like would try him. You know what I mean? I don't think they really have a relationship with him. He doesn't have a relationship with Cardi. There's respect there. I feel like there's utmost respect. Like I feel like he gives respect as anyone would do in the industry, but I don't think they really have a relationship. Mm-mm. It doesn't feel like that. No, he doesn't really have a relationship with the Carters. I feel like he can call Jay, but I don't get like it's like they're cool. Like, come over for dinner. Let's go on a trip together. Like I don't think it's like that. Get down. Yeah. Any questions? It's late. It's like 1:45 right now, chat. Hey. Okay, no? All right, guys. Okay, so we are closing out the live. That's the wrap up to the May mid-month recap. Next week, Friday, we will be doing the end of the month recap. So you guys get 2 videos, 2 weekends in a row. If you guys would like to do a psychic reading, a private reading, you can always hit me up. My link is in the description box. And of course, if you do have any psychic questions, and if you're coming from the video that you watched today, you can get a psychic question for 3333. It'll be a detailed reading on your question and whatever the case may be. Also, be sure to, if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe. But I do want to thank you guys so much for your time and rock with me because it's late now. So may God bless you and the angels protect you. Good night.